in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought?
Right. So I see our guest in the green room smiling at that little quip. Rational thoughts abound on their show. Welcome to the Author Your Brand Show. This is your host, Doug Crow. And boy, of all of our guests, I love them all, of course, are my friends, clients, and good people who have important messages. The one today is going to affect and can impact every single person watching, listening today, as well as your kids and your grandkids. I know it's a lot to say, but when you get into this topic, you'll understand where I'm coming from. Our guest today graduated from the Citadel and served 2 tours in the 82nd Airborne Division USA. He earned his master's and doctorate in health administration from the Medical University of South Carolina. I said Carolina. And he's got 30 plus years experience in digital health innovation, entrepreneurship, and business development. He's the author of the best-selling book, How to Create Yourself. And he's the co-founder and CEO of Privacyio. It is a digital wall protecting your personal information. He's also a biohacker focused on combining farm to table, all natural organic foods with nutrigenomics. You'll help me with that one, Gordon. I think I said it right. Nutrigenomics. Yeah. And regular exercise to maximize cellular metabolism and nutrient absorption. We don't just want to lengthen our lifespans. We want to increase the quality of our lifespan. I call them not lifespans, but health spans. I love that. We use that in another book, by the way. We didn't talk about that. He's a 4A state soccer player, triathlete, tennis enthusiast, U.S. Men's Masters Beach Ultimate Team winning silver in 2004 and gold in 2007 at the Beach Ultimate World Championship. So he's like smart and buff. Wow. I hate this guy. With his wife, Jennifer, he's adopted 5 special needs children and founded AparoAcademy.org, a preschool for medically fragile children through an innovative, integrated, inclusive model preparing children for K and beyond. So no, I can't hate you. Smart and an athlete, and he's adopted 5 kids. Oh my gosh. Welcome to the show, Angel Extraordinaire, Gordon Jones. Dr. Gordon Jones, how are you today?
I'm doing fine. I am no angel. So you don't see any halo up here.
I've seen the halo when I first met you. He told me what you do and the fact that you've not just adopted 1, but 5 kids, special needs, man. That is, no, sorry. You're going to have to just accept the accolade here, man. You're an angel. And he's looking for angel investors, by the way. We'll talk about that too in a minute.
Well, we do need angels in the world, though. That's for sure.
Well,
and I have been an angel investor, but I can't take the godly angel yet. My wife, yeah. She's the angel because not only she had to, and she actually is the executive director of the preschool for the kids, yeah. And we pretty much co-parent very evenly our kids, but then on top of all that, she has to put up with me. So well, she's the angel. Just
what I tell people when I give people a comp like that is being as gentlemanly as I can. I say, man, you are a good salesman then, because you're able to.
You don't know how hard it was to close her to get to marry me.
Oh yeah, okay.
It was a hard close.
We're gonna have her on next show. Then I want to talk to her.
Yeah.
I know you created a book recently, and we were able to fortunately help you with that, make it a bestseller, put you in some media. But your main business is what I want to talk about today. We can give people whatever information they need, but tell us about what I see your shirt, the Privacyio, what it is and why it's important.
Yeah. So, hopefully in our discussion today, we'll be able to relay 3 important things about ourselves. First is we're giving away more information than we need to interact in the world. And that's both physical and digital online. The next is we don't realize how much information we're giving when we go online and interact with the Googles and the Facebooks and the Twitters of the world, or even just your regular old website where you're going to buy something. It's crazy. And then after all that is, okay, how do we really protect ourselves from all of that? And we're developing a way to do that through creating what we call a independent decentralized digital wallet system that leverages blockchain to enable people to protect their identities and their data privacy.
Devil's advocate for a minute, talk about all those convenient things we've done, like one-click ordering and keeping my information to Amazon, so I don't have to go and enter it all the time. It's just there. Or now when people want me to log on to their website, oh, just log into Google and use your Google information to log in.
Yes.
And people think, oh, it's just my email.
No.
No, it's your email plus what? All histories for all time?
Well, and even further than that. So if you use your Facebook account to log into eBay, for example,
right.
Not only are you giving Facebook the right to see everything you do on eBay or any other website you do it on, but now you're giving eBay access rights to your Facebook account. And then what's the problem with that is it's not only that eBay now can see all of your stuff on Facebook, but if you're like me, I've got 4,500 friends and family on Facebook. Of course, they're all very close. But now eBay can see all of my connections of my friends and family and their pages through my giving them access by logging into eBay using my Facebook account. So now I'm not only putting my personal information at risk, now I'm putting all of my friends and family's information at risk. And that's the thing that people don't realize.
Yeah, but this helps me shop better because now Facebook and eBay know me way better than I know myself. They're going to suggest what I actually need, right?
That's right. They are manipulating you the heck out of you. Manipulating the heck out of you.
Yeah, it's like genomics. What are the words?
Like genomics, that's right. Farmer genomics.
Yeah, I get it right.
Nutrigenomics.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a double-edged sword here, and obviously I'm with you on the one edge is much sharper than the other. But yeah, it was convenient to log in with these things, and that's fine. And sharing some information might help me. Hey, I'm not going to be, they're not going to put ads in front of me on things that I don't want, only things that I want. That might save me time from surfing a billion websites. But let's talk about how it can and is being abused for a minute, and then we'll get into your solution here.
Yeah, so really, I mean, now they're able to, they know everything you're doing. They know where you're going every day. You know, when you get that little message that says, hey, you're only 11 minutes and 6 seconds from your house.
Yeah.
And that just kind of pops up just because, right? It's like, so they are able to actually get us to buy stuff we might want it because they know that about us, that we want it, we might want it, or we heard about it and we're envious of our friends who have it, but they're going to get us to buy it. And that's what the problem is. And this is what the world calls attraction economy, to where they're attracting you to purchase things. What we're doing through Privacy is really adding to what we call the intention economy, to where now we're in control of our personal information. We only give it away when we intend to do it. And that just is going to lead to turning everything upside down, to where we're now back into control of our purchasing behaviors, our activity, the things that we need to get, not just because we have some thing going on in the back of our head saying we might want that thing. So this is what we're doing, and we're part of a community we call the self-sovereign identity community. We're for a lot of people, they really don't know how blockchain works, but the key word to blockchain is decentralization. And basically what that means is your information is not in one centralized system that a hacker is going to want to go after. What we're doing is we're decentralizing it to where your personal information is in your digital wallet on your mobile device. So you're in absolute control of that information. And none of it's on a Privacy server somewhere in the cloud. Then from there, we're doing another thing that we call verifiable credentials. So any of the important aspects of your life to where you're actually given a credential, like my degree from the University of South Carolina or Medical University of South Carolina, the CITL, or even my U.S. Masters World Championship in Beach Ultimate, which is obscure. But those are credentials that I can get verified. So somebody can reach out to BULA, B-U-L-A, which is the Beach Lovers Ultimate, the Beach Ultimate Lovers Association, to find out whether I actually played in the tournament and was on the team that won the silver and the gold. So those are credentials that you can hold in your wallet, and then you can give them to whoever wants them without having some third-party company verifying that fact. And this is where we lead into employment background checks. So we can actually take all of these credentials that an employer is going to hire a third-party company to verify before they onboard you as an employee, give you the power. You go ahead and do all of that verification, what a third-party company would do through Privacy. And then this is in a format that we call as an immutable. And then now when you send that to the employer can trust that the information is accurate and true because it has been verified, but now it's in an immutable format to where they can trust that it's coming from you. So now you control that information. And then, so that's a lot of what we're doing.
It being pushing from the employer to the employee, and the employer trusts it because of the way you've arranged it there. That's where I guess could they also leave things out like that? I don't want to reveal certain parts of my thing for the employer.
Well, the employer is going to ask, so they have rules around onboarding you as an employer.
Right.
So they're going to say they want your education.
Yeah.
And they want your work history.
Mm-hmm.
And they want to know your criminal status, criminal background record. They want, if you got a job that requires drivers, so they're going to want to know your driver's status, your driver's insurance record, all that. So it really depends on, so this is how it works. So in a really low level, so I go down, or not me because I'm old, but if somebody who's in their 20s looks like they might be under 21, and they go to the restaurant, and the restaurant wants to verify that you're over 21 in order to authorize you to be able to purchase an alcoholic beverage at that restaurant. Okay. So it's the same thing with anything that we do. If the employer, their requirements are they need this data verified in order to authorize you to become an employee. And so these are the three entities that we have in the self-sovereign identity world. It's the holder, who's me. It's my information. I'm holding it in my Privacy wallet. The issuer, so the universities or the DMV or BULA or whoever it is that issues the credential. And then you got the verifier or receiver. So that would be the restaurant or the gate to get into the stadium using your tickets. They're verifying that you have tickets to get in, and then they authorize you to go watch the football game live. So those are the three entities that we brought together in this framework that we call self-sovereign identity.
A couple of things come to mind. Number one, from a startup perspective, you're gonna have a lot. It seems like you got a big hill to climb because you got the user, the independent, and the employer, or the other, the verifier or the receiver, all have to be on board with this and know about it to get any kind of usage in a grand scale.
So the good thing is
how do you start this?
So first of all, we're not the only ones doing this in the world. So the Linux Foundation, which controls the Linux operating system, they don't control it. They monitor the usage of Linux Foundation. But anyway, they're humongous. They're a worldwide organization. And within them, they actually have many, many different projects going. One is this idea of self-sovereign identity. So there's a whole community within even the Linux Foundation that's helping to design it, design the governance and the schema for this, creating it as open standards so it's very easy for people to adopt it. And then we're collaborating with the World Wide Web Consortium. They oversee what happens on the World Wide Web, and other groups around the world. But there are about 38 different governments that have already adopted this framework and are building to enable, for example, their passports and their driver's license to be held in a self-sovereign identity wallet. So a Privacy member, if they're in, as a matter of fact, today, if they live in South Korea, they would be able to hold their South Korean passport and their driver's license in their Privacy wallet because they've already adopted the open standards that we're using for privacy. The province in Ontario has done it, and just governments around the world that are adopting it, as well as organizations, including a group of the world's largest employers. About 30% of all corporate employees around the world are represented by a group of people in what we call the Velocity Network Foundation. And these employers are adopting these standards to, first of all, reduce the friction of onboarding a new employee, reduce their costs because now they don't have to hire a third-party company to verify all this information, and then protect their employees or their prospective employees' information. And this helps them develop a really much closer relationship with their employees because now their employees feel that they're even out to help them protect their personal information. So this is really growing around the world. We're pretty well in depth in the community that's doing this. Now we just happen to be in South Carolina, and South Carolina is not necessarily on the forefront of tech. We do have some really strong, good tech base here, but for having this little startup in South Carolina who's leveraging blockchain and doing some really well advanced technology, it's hard to come out of South Carolina because the people here don't understand it, so they're not really standing in line to invest in us. But we're working on that.
Yeah, but it also means you don't have competition from Silicon Valley because they ignore us anyway. So you're, you know.
Yeah, but you know, and we've done real well. We've raised almost $500,000 from friends and family who are in South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, North Carolina, and then a couple of our friends in Taiwan and Sweden and Italy and Dubai and all that crazy stuff. Yeah. So we've gotten started. We did our soft launch of our technology to do some pilots just on December the 1st, a couple of weeks ago. Right. And so in January, we're going to really finish up our pilots, prepare our applications for deployment, get the apps in the Apple Store and the Google Play Store. Sorry.
To market strategy here on this thing, because we got, you know, new technology with an audience which is, I think, ready for this. But like I said, there's more than one entity involved. So you're in the ecosystem. You know there's other people working on it. How do you become the forefront? How do you get to the head of the pack on this thing?
Yeah, so this is what everybody loves about what we're doing. So we call this local to grow global. So we're really hyper-focused on South Carolina being the leading state in the nation, the adoption of self-sovereign identity. And then we're headquartered in Columbia because we came out of the University of South Carolina, sort of, out of my class that I teach blockchain at the University of South Carolina. And so we're really going to be educating everybody in Columbia, Richland County area about what we're doing. We already have the sheriff on board with us. He's an advisor. We've educated the governor, the lieutenant governor, the speaker of the House. We have legislators that are learning more about what we're doing. We presented for an hour last week to the Department of Motor Vehicles about our concerns of a centralized mobile ID and how that could affect privacy. So like if you get a mobile driver's license, you're using it, you get pulled over by the officer because you're speeding. Does he have the right to look at everything in your phone now because your driver's license is on your phone? So we say no, right? He doesn't. And so what we've developed is a way that they can do that interaction contactless.
Yeah.
So that he doesn't even have to touch your phone to get the information from your wallet that he needs to maybe write a warning for you, hopefully.
Yeah. You say no, but I went through customs, on a flight a year ago, and they pulled me aside and let me see your phone. I'm like, yeah, I go, unlock it, please. They had the authority, and I was a little bit agitated, but I went and looked on the web, and customs and immigration has a full authority to go through all your digital devices now. So it's.
And what are they going to do if you say no?
I probably detain me. I'm guessing. I don't know.
Well, they
Or
probably
maybe
won't let you on an airplane.
right. I was getting off. I was trying to get back in the
Oh,
U.S.
you're getting off. So you were coming back into customs.
Yeah.
So you had to show more than your passport. You actually had to show your mobile devices.
It was they do a spot check, right? So I was I got the spot check. They went through normally you just walk out. This is after immigration in the baggage area, and some guy comes like, come here a second. I'm like, yeah, he goes, step over here. I'm like, all right. Open up my bag, and he went through my phone.
So I know some good lawyers that would probably fight the heck out of that.
Well, I was, I didn't have that.
No, I know that, right. You can't pull one out of your pocket. Here's my lawyer.
No, but when I went and looked online later, I went to their site, and what they say, they can print where they want the web, that they had the authority to do that.
Yeah. Now the Constitution says no.
Well, next time, if I have a day flight, it happens again, I'll be sure to keep you on speed dial.
Yeah, I know. But hey, you want to get out of the airport though, right?
Yeah.
But we can do a test case. We can find some person who doesn't mind getting detained for a little while.
Well, I had nothing on there of any importance. Like, okay, whatever.
But that's what everybody says. Hey, why do I need to worry about it? I'm a good person. I'm trustworthy.
I'm catching myself because I'm a libertarian, so I don't like it on the foundational element of leave me alone thing. But at the moment, I was the power struggle, right?
Right. Oh yeah. Well, no. You got to do. You're right. And then you go back and just sue them. That's what you do.
Yeah. And then, my friend in Australia, he was traveling once. So I got the topic here, but he had to give him their phone, and he's a tech guy, right? When he came back, it was shut off. He didn't shut it off, and we turned it back on. This big red thing flashed, then went away. He said, "What the heck is that?" And he's convinced they put something on his phone.
And he's a U.S. citizen?
No, he's an Australian.
So he's an Australian. So the Australians did that?
Yep.
So you realize the Australian doesn't have a constitution like the United States, right?
Yeah.
So they very well could do whatever they want to. I don't know.
They're doing it now down there. I know it's a little rough.
Oh yeah, man. They're locked down. They love locking down there.
Yeah. And it's weird because they were born from prisoners, the culture of being
that's why it's in their genes, man. All of our friends in Australia, we love you, man.
Totally. All my friends there for sure, but your government, I think, is run by the old guards from 4 generations ago or something.
That's right. That's right.
Too bad for you guys. All right. So, how do people get more information about this? If they want to get their wallet set up, can they do it now?
Yeah. So, so we don't have the wallet available yet, but you can sign up for our beta testing.
Great. Okay.
And you can also pre-purchase your own wallet. We have a pre-sale page.
Yeah.
So if you go to Privacy.io.
Okay.
So India, October.
Yeah.
Or India, Oscar. Whichever one you were. So Privacy.io. And on there, you'll see a pre-sale page. You can go there and actually purchase your wallet ahead of time. Okay. Should be available at the end of January, beginning of February.
Terrific.
We will have some beta testers testing it before, and we'll give that to them directly, so they won't download it from the App Store. So that's, and then you can also link over from Privacy.io to How to Create Yourself, the book that we just published.
That's right.
So it's a book on how to become an entrepreneur and how to build on your ideas and how to kick yourself in the butt to get things done. But I did put a special chapter at the end of the book specifically to identity and privacy. So so if nothing else, you get the book, go to the last chapter and read it, because that'll probably do more for you than, well, I mean, it's a good book.
Come on, I went through it. There's some good stuff there. And some of it's very, I would call basic entrepreneur 101 stuff, all right? But everybody needs to get back to basics. We get so caught up in the shiny object, the new software, the new tool, but the basic information about how to start and grow and run a company from nothing to something, it's always good to have the basic information, as well as obviously the privacy thing, which is, it's a mess. There's so many things I've read and seen about that. I number one, I don't know, the past 6 months I took off all social media from my phone, deleted it. I think I did. Is it still there?
Well, if you if you delete it off your phone, it's still there. I mean, it's still there. You have to deactivate, but now there's services that'll come in and scrape and pull all that data off. Because if you just deactivate your Facebook, they still have all your stuff. They keep it. Because
it's still
it costs more to delete it than it would to hold on.
I still have my desktop version.
Yeah,
I still have my desktop version, but I deleted the app from my phone.
Oh, okay. So right. So they're the only thing they're not doing is listening to you while you're on your phone, and they're not tracking your location. So than that,
I mean, tracked by Google for sure.
Well, yeah. So good. And then when you log in on your Google credentials and go over to Facebook, then they're sharing it. So even though Google and Facebook hate each other, they still love each other and share data between
because of the green. Yeah, make a little money on it.
Same thing. I call them the GAFTM, GAAFTM. Google, Apple, Amazon, Facebook, Twitter, and Microsoft, because Microsoft owns LinkedIn. Yeah. Because LinkedIn is just a glorified Facebook.
Right.
So they're doing the same thing. So they all do the same thing. If you're using Gmail, or you using Facebook, or you're using anybody's search except for DuckDuckGo, you can go to use DuckDuckGo. If you're using anything for free, then as the documentary on Netflix, Social Dilemma says, you're the product.
You are the user.
They're making money off of selling you to advertisers, and that's how they
say that again for everybody so they understand that. I've watched this movie twice, and it's very important.
Yeah, so they did a documentary interviewing the programmers that these companies hire to create these things, who realized what they were doing and left, and then told the world through this Netflix documentary what they had programmed into what these guys are doing. And then the Wall Street Journal had a huge piece, several part piece on Facebook and the Facebook whistleblower, talking about how they know what they're doing. And they have reports on what they're doing. Right. And they're still not necessarily changing their behavior.
Yeah, it's not just tracking. It's not just tracking. They're incentivizing us to hate and to divide and to be angry because fear sells better. I mean, than
right. Well, it's just like the evening news. Who goes to the evening news to watch some award winner? No, they go to see what car crash or what dude got shot, or if they don't even like going to see good weather. They want to go see bad weather, like the hurricanes in Kentucky, the tornadoes in Kentucky. And
I've been battling this my entire life. I haven't watched the news as a habit in 30 years, right? I mean, I've tuned in for 9/11, the beginning of the pandemic. Okay, I watch it for a little bit of time, but as a habit, I don't watch it. Someone tells you there's a hurricane or there's a big tornado in Kentucky a while ago. I'm like, oh, I didn't hear about that. Well,
we're the same way. We're the same way.
Yeah. But my point is, I've been trying in many ways in media, in books, and podcasts, and I got some video things coming out with some. I want to focus on this good news, positive thing, but we all know the limbic brain is hardwired to focus on the car wreck that we're trying to slow down by.
Right. So we can
focus on that fear so we don't get in trouble.
That's right.
So it's hard to battle, a million years of evolution. It's just, it's hard. It's impossible.
And that's why you just have to and I talk about it in my book, right? So, I mean, my wife and I, we have a couple of streaming, there's a group called PureFlix. It's kind of like Netflix, but it's PureFlix. So it's a little bit less intense movies. We still have kids in our house. So, so we'll watch that, but we don't watch regular TV. As a matter of fact, we went for Thanksgiving, we went to this island, and they didn't have streaming. They just had regular TV, right? And we watched the Hallmark station or whatever. And every 10 and a half minutes, there's a commercial. And we're watching all these Hallmark commercials, horrifying. And we're what?
What's more horrifying is I was during a little binging on some Law and Order or something a few weeks ago, and I'm not joking. 90% of the ads were for drugs.
Yeah, pharmaceutical
Like,
industry.
I know more about these maladies I'll never get than anybody. It's like, what?
Yeah.
It's just the strangest thing to be the biggest drug pushers on our planet are major pharmaceutical companies. It's just weird.
Yeah, but we don't get exposed to that stuff. And the only thing I do is I listen to the Wall Street Journal podcast in the morning while I'm working out.
Yeah.
Just to know what's going on in primarily business and tech.
Yeah. Right. Right. Well, it's good that you're in Columbia, and we love you in South Carolina. I moved down here a few years ago, so it's a great state, and you're doing a good job here with Privacy. So go to Privacy.io, folks, and sign up as a beta user or pre-purchase your wallet if you're a mind to. When do you think the first rollout with an entity will be here?
Well, we're already a partner with Blackbaud down there in Charleston.
All right.
So we're already been working with them on how we can incorporate what we do inside their, they call it an ecosystem.
Yeah.
So they're the world's largest nonprofit application company in the world. So they service nonprofits all over the world. And so we have the opportunity to be a part of their ecosystem, exposed to all those companies. So we're working on that now, and we can say that publicly because we already tell everybody publicly that. But we got some other deals that we're working on. One of our pilots is with the University of South Carolina, where the graduates of the iSchool, which is in the College of Information and Communications, which is where I teach, they are gonna be one of the first graduates in the world to have their college degrees turned into this immutable, verifiable credential record that they can hold in their Privacy wallet. They can hold it in other SSI wallets too, because it's their credential. But we're going to give them a Privacy wallet to hold their college degree that they just graduated last week.
That's your go-to thing, is get a bunch of free ones out there and get used to it. Like big tech.
We've got a great customer. Our model is B to B to C, so we'll do B to B business to business, and then through business to business, we'll build our membership to serving the individual.
Right. So if you're an employer or a large entity, and you respect the sovereignty of human beings, then go to Privacy.io and get on board. It's a good thing. You're doing good work here, Gordon, in so many ways.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
It takes a team. It's not just me. We've got a whole team.
I know you're a very humble man. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I'm going to have you and your wife back on sometime so she can validate your sales skills here too.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about adoption, being adopted parents. We'll do that.
Oh my gosh. I've got someone for you. When we're done here, I'm going to say I got a really good thing for you on that. It'd be great. This is Doug Crow with the Author Branch. That was Dr. Gordon Jones. Not a privacy expert, but a self-sovereign advocate. And got a great thing there at Privacy.io. Check it out. And we'll see you next time on the show. Thanks for watching.